Greetings, fellow to the time and space. It's your host, TheAmariaShadow, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome back once again to some more of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy. We're going to continue right where we last left off in the last live stream. We had made it to the first part of the trial in episode 3, Turnabout Big Top. So without further ado, let's get started right away, today's adventure, and see what's in store for us. On scene! December 29th, 9:43 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 5. Good morning, Max. Max? Milk? What? If I don't have a glass of milk before I go on stage, I just can't function, sweetie. Stage? Don't worry, there won't be a stage. All you have to do is sit down. I guess. Nick, Max is really nervous. That's understandable. Hey, my sweeties. What? You don't think I should fly, do you? Huh? You know, you've got to make a good first impression. When I enter the room, maybe I should fly in and warm up the crowd a little. No. We can't be having you flying around the courtroom. It just wouldn't be right. Imagine if you hit someone. Don't worry, Max. Just do what Nick says and everything will be okay. Oh, sweetie. What is it this time, Max? Why don't you try flying into the courtroom? I can see it now. The dashing young lawyer flying fabulously in from above. One glimpse of that and everyone in the room will be on your side. Max, really, no one needs to fly today. Nick, what's with that look in your eyes? I like the sound of that. Dashing young lawyer flying fabulously. December 29th, 10 a.m., District Court, Courtroom number 2. Sorry, I'm in the middle of eating a very late breakfast. I woke up around 1 this morning. Like, what on earth? And now the case of 1. What? Your Honor, get on with it. Oh, sorry. I just realized that the defendant's name is Billy Bob Johns. So, well, isn't the defendant also known as Maximilian Galactica? Yes, Your Honor. He does also go by that name. You know, my grandchild is a huge fan of his. I think everyone here wouldn't mind if you called the defendant Maximilian Galactica. It sounds more friendly. I wonder if that is to our advantage. Miss on Karma, your opening statement, if you please. I hope you didn't bother thinking you'd win this one, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Eh? That spirit channeling trial was a sham. I refuse to acknowledge its legitimacy. It did not count, did you hear me? You must still be upset about what happened last time. You have no chance. 0, zilch, nada. I'm not losing this case. Why, you ask? Because it's not in the nature of Von Karma to lose at anything. I guess being born with the name Von Karma is a free pass to be arrogant and annoying. Watch and learn, Mr. Phoenix Wright. I'll show you the textbook procedure for proving how absolutely guilty you are. Me? Guilty? What are you talking about? It will be my ultimate revenge, but it's not like it'll bring her dad back. There. Opening statement complete. Now let's hurry and wrap up this waste of time. Very well. You may call your first witness, Miss Von Karma. Detective Dick Cumshoe. Get up there, now! Sorry to keep you from work, as I'm sure you need every penny you can earn, Detective. Don't mention it. It's no trouble at all. I've been looking forward to this. Very well. I would like you to begin by shedding light on the events in question. At your service, sir. All right, Detective. You may proceed with your testimony. The night of the crime, snow was falling until 9:40 p.m., making it extremely cold out. All of the circus performers were gathered in the Big Top to practice their routines. The practice session broke up around 10 p.m. The murder itself took place in the plaza in front of the lodging house at 10:15 p.m. The victim was found bent over a wooden box, dead as a doornail. The cause of death was blunt force trauma that snapped a vertebrae in his neck. I see. He was beaten to death. Here is the autopsy report for the victim. The court accepts this into evidence. Autopsy report added to the court record. A blunt object. Very well. Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. Let me ask you about the snow. It was nearly a blizzard up until the time of the crime. Did it pile up? It wasn't such a big deal. Maybe about 1.5 inches was on the ground. The snow froze in place and stayed on the ground until the next day. The snow. Let me see. There's got to be more to this. What's the matter, Nick? I need to take a look at the court record. Mr. Gumshoe, what were the members of the circus doing on the night of the crime? All of the circus performers were gathered in the big tub to practice their routine. When you say all the circus performers, who do you mean? Everyone but the dancers and staff were there. Regina the animal tamer, Mo the clown, Ben the ventriloquist, and of course the defendant, Maximilian Galactica, and his victim, the ringmaster. Oh, I almost forgot. Regent the tiger was there as well. Out of curiosity, what about the circus monkey? When I was investigating yesterday, he happened to snatch my wristwatch. Detective, you are welcome to file a police report after these proceedings. The practice session broke up around 10 p.m. After the practice was over, where did everyone head off to? Regina was playing with Regent, while Mo went back to his room tired from work. Ben Ventriloquist went to the front gate, absorbed in his own world. The ringmaster and Max went off to the ringmaster's room to talk privately. Talk privately, huh? That's awfully suspicious. You wouldn't happen to know what they were talking about, would you? It seems they were negotiating Max's salary. Actually, Max was asking for Regina's hand in marriage. The murder itself took place at the plaza in front of the lodging house at 10:15 p.m. I'd like you to be a bit more specific about the events at 10:15 p.m. Okay, not a problem, pal. We've got a witness that told us how the whole thing went down. Ow! This is totally meaningless. Time to move on. Alright, we'll just have to revisit that testimony later. Detective Gumshoe, would you mind telling us how the victim met his end? The victim was found bent over a wooden box dead as a doornail. A wooden box? That's right. The victim must have been carrying the wooden box when he was killed. Carrying the box, huh? It was a rather strange wooden box, Your Honor. What do you mean? Well, it was much heavier than it looked. Not to mention it was locked. Locked, you say? This may be my only chance, so I might as well ask some questions. Do you mind telling us what was inside that box? Well, when we found the box, it was locked tighter than Fort Knox, so we took it back to the station and cracked it open. All that was inside was this little bottle. Bottle? What is that, Detective? Exactly what it looks like, Your Honor. It's a condiment bottle. What's inside the bottle? It's filled with pepper. Pepper? Why in the world was it locked in that big box? There's only one little bottle in that huge box? I wonder if that has some sort of special meaning. According to the autopsy report, the murder weapon was a blunt object, correct? You've done your homework, pal. And you haven't found this murder weapon, have you? The police are searching for it as we speak. My theory is that it is something the perpetrator ran off with. You would think so, especially since you didn't find it on the scene. No, I bet he made it disappear with magic. Well, I think we have a good feel for the details of the event now. I guess that's all we're going to get out of Gumshoe in this case. You mean all we're going to get out of him is that little bottle of pepper? Now that we have wrapped up with the detective, I'd like to call my next witness. I'm not even off the stand yet. Obviously, but that's due to you being slow and unable to take a hint. I don't know, but wrapped up has such a mean sound to it. I'm a sensitive guy. Thank you very much, Detective Gumshoe. You may step down. Miss Von Karma, call your next witness. I would like to call Mr. Benjamin Woodman to the stand. She must be talking about Ben the ventriloquist. I wonder if Trilo will show up on the stand as well. Please state your name and occupation for the record. My full name is Trilo Quist. I'm employed as an operatic tenor. Excuse me! The witness called to the stand was one Mr. Benjamin Woodman, ventriloquist. That robe must be cutting off your circulation. I said that I was a singer. Maybe you don't believe me. Fine, I'll grace you with a song. Ahem. The world, the law, exciting and daring, guilt or innocence, the excited by a judge dressed up like a woman. Well, what do you think? It had a good rhythm. It's just the lyrics. They leave something to be desired, so to speak. Hell, you know that your nose is the reason you'll never be an A-list star. Celebrities must really enjoy saying everything that flashes into their minds. What's going on here? Order! Order! I demand to know who the witness is! Don't worry about me, sir. I'll let Trilo handle this. I'm not worried about you one bit. I'm worried about getting testimony in my court. Ouch! You won't get anywhere trying to figure out this witness. Now let's proceed. Once practice was over, I left the tent with the stooge, clown. Once we got to the lodging house, I ditched him and went back to the plaza's entrance. That's when I saw Max, heading towards the scene of the crime. He was the only one heading that way. How could that punk not be the killer? Then the police showed up and took Magic Boy away. You saw Maximilian Galactica heading towards the scene? You're sure of that? Without a doubt, he had on his silk hat, cloak, and the dumb white roses on his chest. How could you mistake someone with that crazy get-up and his nose stuck up so high? That's enough. I think we all get the picture. Just one thing. You said you ditched the clown. That's right, dress boy. Well, since you weren't with him, couldn't that mean the clown committed the crime? He's got a point. What a shame. It was a nice theory, but the clown can't be the culprit. Why's that? Here's absolute proof. Silk hat? This was found at the scene of the crime. It belongs to the defendant. Ah. Without question, he was wearing his signature hat during practice. If the clown was the murderer, there would be no reason for this hat to be at the scene. Well done, Miss Valkarma. Your prosecutorial skills are unrivaled. Well done. Thank you for stating the obvious. Mr. Phoenix Wright, what do you have to say? Okay, I guess she's the boss again today. What stood out like a sore thumb? 1, 2, 3, 4. He was the only one heading that way. How could that punk not be the killer? That sounds so suspicious. You saw Max and only Max, right, Trilo? That's right, and that makes him the killer. There was only one person headed that way that night. It makes quite a bit of sense and makes Max one suspicious character. There's more to this story than meets the eye. Is there something amiss in this? Yeah, you only saw Max? What about the Ringmaster? That's a bit strange, don't you think? What's strange? That you only saw Max. Doesn't it seem like you should have seen someone else as well? What? Where are you going with this, Mr. Phoenix, Mr. Wright? Who else do you suppose this witness could have seen? The Ringmaster, of course! That's the victim. That's correct. If Trilo was at the entrance to the plaza, he should have seen the Ringmaster as well! Ah! Obviously, the Ringmaster arrived at the scene of the crime before the witness could have seen him. Anyone with sense could have figured that one out. What are you talking about? The Ringmaster and Max went together to the Ringmaster's room. Is that, according to the defendant, a likely story? If Maximilian Galactica was supposed to be in the Ringmaster's room, why was he, just as the witness stated, at the scene of the crime? Ah! I see. It seems that, at this stage, I have no reason to doubt this witness's testimony. And there are clearly no conclusive contradictions. He's right. A brilliant judgment, Your Honor. Now let's move along with the testimony. Trilo wouldn't happen to have an ulterior motive for incriminating Max, would he? Well, Max is part of that bitter love triangle with Regina. That's probably why Max conked him over the head. Nix, wasn't Ben the one who got knocked over the head? Yeah, I think so. I don't know anymore. Around what time did the police arrive at the scene? I suppose that would have been around... Hey, what time was it? Huh? I think it was around, I'd say a bit after 10:30 p.m., I think. Practice ended at 10 p.m., so you hung around the lodging house the entire time? I guess that sounds about right. Wasn't it awfully cold? I can't believe you just stand outside in that weather. Well, the truth is... Will you shut up, you big-nosed dope? Why are you telling him anything extra? Why can't you believe that we just stand outside in that weather? Well, maybe you were waiting for someone. What? Who said we were waiting for someone? Mr. Phoenix Wright, we can all do without your offhanded theories. But this witness, he's cracking under the pressure already. I'm on to something. Mr. Wright, who do you suppose the witness was waiting for out in the cold that night?
Take that!
Well, if he was waiting outside in the cold, it was for one person. And one person only. He was waiting for the animal trainer, Regina. Ah! You were waiting outside for Regina to come back to the lodging house. Am I mistaken? Is this true? Well, you can't really ask me that question. Who cares who I was waiting for that night? What's important is what I saw. Don't you forget it. Well. The puppet may be a bit stiff, but he's right. Eh? Alright. There's obviously a reason why this witness was there that night. He spent all that time waiting for Regina to arrive. Moreover, even if someone else would have walked right in front of him, I doubt he would have paid them a second thought. Ah! That makes perfect sense. What did you just say? The witness saw the defendant at the scene of the crime. However, he did not see the victim on the way to his eventual demise. If you accept that, then you must accept that there is a high likelihood that he could have missed someone else other than Max heading to the scene. Ow! There's absolutely no proof that the witness was waiting for the animal tamer. I guess you got me. Alright, I'll spill the beans for real this time. It's true, I was waiting for Regina. Pain! Don't volunteer things. Mr. Quist, tell us the truth this time, and I mean the whole truth. Were you or were you not waiting for Regina at the entrance to the lodging house? I was! I was waiting to propose to her. You were what? Waiting to propose? What's the matter? You think that humans have a monopoly on marriage? The matter of puppet marriage is not under review in this case. You're the judge! I mean, look at your terrible outfit! More pain! Thanks to your bumbling, my perfect plan is not so perfect anymore. Now we have to waste time getting to the bottom of some silly proposal by a puppet. Don't be so surprised that I was going to propose to Regina. I even had something to give to her. I kept it in my pocket, waiting for the chance to propose and give it to her. Of course, I also had it in my pocket that night. It was a present for her. In the end, I wasn't able to give it to her, so I've still got it in my pocket. No, you don't. We have it. You're going to propose? You, a puppet. Don't be so obtuse. Just because I'm a puppet doesn't mean I can't love. I guess you're right. Just because I'm old doesn't mean I couldn't propose to her, too. Exactly! His honor is looking a little less than honorable right now. Okay, Mr. Wright, please continue with your cross-examination. What was with that sigh at the end? About the proposal. You had something to give her, huh? What was it exactly that you planned on giving her? You know exactly what I was going to give her, numbskull. The only thing I could find that could match Regina's beauty. Answer his question. What was it? You're going to die when you hear this. It's an engagement ring. An engagement ring? Wow, those two nearly fell out of their chairs. Mr. Phoenix Wright joke has gone too far. Time for this to end right here. Francisca's whip looks like it's about to lash out at almost anything. One hit for that thing will probably shut someone up for a long time. Push on anyway. It may be something of a joke, but this is a historic moment. The first time... Ow! I advise you to cut this argument short. Hello, Sayaka. I'm gonna have to agree with the defense here. Will the witness please revise their testimony? Specifically about the engagement ring. I like to stick to facts, not sociology. You're sure to enjoy sweating the details, especially for a man in a black bathrobe. I plan on giving an engagement ring to Regina. But you don't have it. I do. Trilo, do you mind if I show you something? What is it? What are you talking about? Uh-oh, looks like they're going to double team me now. Do you recognize this ring? Ah, that's mine! Give it back! Thief! Thief! Didn't you just testify about this very object? I believe you said, in the end, I wasn't able to give it to her, so I've still got it in my pocket. Why then do I have it right here? Ah! What is going on here? That's... Ben, say something! Don't put me on the spot like that, Trilo. I found this in Money's room. Money's room? You mean a room they put money like a bank vault? Ha! That filthy monkey is gonna get what's coming to him. Mr. Quist, I wasn't heard you avoided slandering innocent fiats in my court. Well, Your Honor, Money really is a monkey, in every sense of the word. Ah, I see. Well then. Money likes to go after the shiniest things that he can find and gather them up. Shiny? Things? Trilo, when was this ring stolen from you? Well, I suppose it was that time, you know, the night of the crime. What did you just say? Details, I need more details. Well, it was stolen right after Max showed up at the plaza. Right about when you saw the defendant walk past, correct? Well, I guess, yeah, might be able to say that. The ring might have, well, it could have been taken around that time. Ah! Ow! Ben, what's with you? Oh, whatever. It has nothing to do with anything, especially now who committed the murder. It's not for you to decide what has to do with what. Now, Trilo, back to the topic at hand. I haven't admitted a thing, not I, Mr. Trilo Quist. What did you do when the ring was taken, Trilo? You know exactly what I did. I chased after that ring-snatching monkey Money. But you weren't able to catch up with him, were you? It was all this slow, loafy fool called Ben's fault. While he was fumbling his way through the snow, that dumb monkey was able to get away. That is indeed an incredible shame. Well, this does indeed prove one very important point. Prove an important point? What point could that possibly be? Ben's testimony has a flaw. There's a huge contradiction in this witness's testimony. Contradiction? The witness shall testify to the following effect. Up until the police arrived, he didn't move from the entrance to the plaza. However, the witness just stated that he chased after Money the monkey. When the witness was off chasing Money, there was no one watching the plaza. What is the meaning of all this, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Where are you going with this little theory of yours? I'm saying that there is no possible way that this witness saw the plaza the entire time. That's where I'm going with this little theory, which leads me to my next point. It's entirely possible that someone other than the defendant was at the scene. Interesting, Mr. Wright. Well then, tell me this, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Do you have any proof that something slipped past this vigilant ventriloquist? Well, he obviously didn't see the victim, the ringmaster, arrive on the scene. However, that doesn't change the fact that he saw the defendant arrive. The witness is lying! He is blinded by his rivalry with Max! Well, the defense's argument does hold water. This witness does have a history of animosity towards the defendant. What? How dare you? I wouldn't lie just to get that dork face in trouble. He's not even worth it. I saw him, no doubt about it. I saw that worthless liar. Well, just for clarity's sake, let's flesh out exactly who you saw that night. Ha! I told you so many times you'd think you'd know my story's not changing. You've already changed your story, stick boy, and I'm sure it will change some more. Where there's one lie, there are usually many more behind it. Exactly, Maya. That's why we have to keep after him. Yeah. I'll give you that I was waiting that night for Regina, but that doesn't change the fact that I saw Max at the plaza that night. He showed up after I had been waiting there for about 5 minutes. I said good evening to him, but he didn't even acknowledge my presence. I'm absolutely sure it was him. I saw Maximilian Galactica at the scene. There's no way I could mistake someone wearing those 3 ridiculous symbols. So that means that Money didn't show up until after you saw Max? That's right, Money ran up less than a minute after I saw Max. Then Money snatched the ring, and you went chasing after him? How long was it until you came back to where you were waiting? Well, let's see. I'd say about, I suppose, 5 minutes, I think. So the victim could have arrived on the scene in that 5-minute stretch. Mr. Wright, please proceed with your cross-examination. So you testified that you said good evening to Max that night. You must enjoy asking an incredibly obvious question. You say good morning in the morning and good afternoon during the day, right? And it's obvious that I say good night to someone at night. What, Ben? You got something to add? Let me guess. That's not it, Trilo. You say good evening at night. Well, I'm sorry, Trilo. Mr. Quist, I would prefer if you kept the ventriloquist's act outside of the courtroom. Impossible! A performer lives and breathes his performances. You should know better. There's got to be something wrong with this bit of testimony. Isn't that a bit strange to you? What do you mean? Well, if you hate Max so much, why would you bother being nice to him? It strikes me as somewhat strange. Why would it strike you as strange? Exactly, how is it strange to be cordial to one of your co-workers? Well, if it was simply just being cordial to a co-worker, I would understand. Ow, that hurt! Maybe you should think of having some proof before your lips start flapping next time. Proof is everything in this world. You should have learned that back in grade school. There's no reason that Trilo would ever say something nice to Max. And how do I go about proving that with the evidence? Bluffing is everything in this world, and I'm sure you already learned that one. I guess I can give it a shot. The witness will resume his testimony. Those three ridiculous symbols, huh? Out of curiosity, exactly how many times have you asked that question by now? If you want to ask again, I'll answer with a chorus. Everyone together, hat. Still cat, cloak, white roses. Thank you very much. Maya, you didn't have to join in, did you? But it's fun shouting out with everyone else. There has to be a hole in this testimony somewhere. I agree, but do we have the proof to make something stick? All we can do is try, right, Nick? We've got to have something that will prove useful. Alright, time to go to work. Trilo, is it not true that you had a fight with Max on the day of the murder? A fight? A fight over Regina, to be exact. It wasn't that big of a deal. It was just an argument, a disagreement at most. A disagreement usually doesn't end with someone getting clonked over the head. Ah! That morning, Ben got clobbered over the head by Max, didn't he? What? Is that an admission of assault and battery? Ouch! Before we handle that, we should wrap up the defendant's murder charge first. The truth is that on the day of the crime, the defendant and witness had a huge fight. There's absolutely no way they would have suddenly become cordial that evening. Moreover, just consider the personality of the witness on stand. There's no way a puppet this lewd would just up and say good evening to his rival. Are you saying this witness is lying? That he's trying to frame the defendant by claiming to have seen him at the crime scene? I didn't tell a single lie! Honestly, I just... That's enough from you, Mr. Quist. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. Let's clarify this testimony for the court. Could you explain your theory about who the witness actually saw that night? It is my belief that the witness did indeed see someone that night. It was just someone else. That's who he said good evening to. What kind of theory is that? The correct one. Furthermore, I don't believe the person the witness saw was Max at all. What? If he had truly met Max that night, there would have been no greeting at all, which means there is only one proper answer. The person the witness saw that night was not Maximilian Galactica. That is why Trilo made the effort to greet whoever it was that he saw that evening, or good evening, as he put it. What in the world? Would the defense kindly explain who it was Trilo saw that evening, then? It's easily Russell Berry. Considering the ill temper of this witness, there's only one person he would greet. It must be Regina. It's Regina, right? She's so cute. No, Your Honor, it's not Regina. If it was Regina, Trilo would have given her the engagement ring as a present. Oh, yeah, I suppose you've got a point there. It was Russell Berry, the victim himself, was it not? You are correct. It was indeed Russell Berry. The person you saw that evening was the victim, the ringmaster, Russell Berry. That's why you greeted him, Trilo. Isn't that correct? Answer the question, Mr. Quist! Ah! Ah! Order! Order! How do you respond to this? Wait a second! Well, at first I thought it was the old man, but once I got a better look at him, it was obviously Maximilian Galactica! I think it's high time that we clear the air about this question. Mr. Quist obviously witnessed a single person in the area of the plaza that evening. The problem is identifying exactly who that person was. Was it Maximilian Galactica? Or was it the ringmaster, one Mr. Russell Berry? The prosecution argues that it was the defendant that the witness saw that night. The witness has clearly stated that he saw the defendant's three symbols. 3 symbols? Alright, this is getting old. Come on, man. You've got to remember them by now. Here we go again. Everyone all together now. Ow! Yes, we know. The silk hat, cloak, and white roses. A silk hat and a cloak. Anyone could wear them. They'd even look good on me. What was that? Well, the witness has endlessly repeated that he saw Max's 3 symbols. However, how do we really know it was Maximilian Galactica? It could have been someone else dressed up as him. Possibly even Russell Berry. What? Miss Von Karma, do you have clear evidence that the person the witness saw was a defendant? Well, if that's the case, it is impossible for me to make a judgment at this point. Yes! I think we finally won a point in this one! That is very unfortunate. Well, you're just a little too excited for your own good, Mr. Phoenix Wright. What do you mean by that? You merely established one thing from this witness. You established that this witness saw one person in the plaza that night. I applaud you on your efforts, but who that person was can only be answered by the next witness. Huh? Your Honor, the prosecution will provide, beyond a shadow of a doubt, an answer to that question, and evidence that clearly establishes one thing, that there is no one other than Maximilian Galactica responsible for this crime. Very well. The court will take a 10-minute recess. During that time, I request the prosecution prepare their next witness. Court is now in recess. Take me a sip of water. Oh, that's so much better. December 29th, 11:54 a.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby number 5. So, sweetie, you have to believe me. I didn't go anywhere near that crime scene. So then, where were you when the murder took place? We talked about it yesterday, remember? I was in the ringmaster's room. And while you were there, it was the ringmaster who left the room, right? Exactly. He told me to wait in the room because he would be right back. That's when the ringmaster headed to the scene of the crime, right? That's what it seems like. But the ringmaster must have been wearing Max's costume, right? Oh, sweetie, I just remembered. I went straight to the ringmaster's room still dressed in my stage clothes. And when I got there, I went ahead and took the costume off. Which means... It means that the ringmaster could have taken his costume and went out looking like Max. Fabulous! That's a fabulously possible possibility! Well done, Nick. However, sweetie, why would the ringmaster want to dress up like me? Isn't that a bit strange? If you think about it, all they found at the crime scene was my silk hat. What about my cloak? Where did that go? Double. Wow, Max, I never thought of that. You should be a detective or something. Well, I was never quite sure what to be when I grew up, magician or president. You have no idea how hard it was to make a decision. That's really cool. Fabulous. This mystery just keeps getting deeper. December 29th, 12:06 p.m., District Court, courtroom number 2. Now that everyone is back, let's get started. The court is now back in session. Ms. Von Karma, please proceed with the prosecution's case. Very well. I will now call up my next witness. A pitiful clown with the unfortunate distinction of having seen the entire thing. Will Mr. Lawrence Curls please take the stand? Why did she just call him a pitiful clown? The witness will state his name and occupation for the court record. In West Clownadelphia. Name and occupation. Will the witness please inform the court why he is speaking autobiographical gibberish? I'm sorry. I'm just not used to being in court. I've never been in a courtroom in my life. I wasn't quite sure what joke is best suited to this sort of occasion. What in the world are you talking about? You're in a grand hall of justice, not some comedy club. This is easy to see your occupation. Please state your name for the court. Oh, yeah, maybe this joke is okay. Mom, do I have to wear pants? The sign only says no shirt. no shoes, no service. You're not funny, dude. Okay. How about this? Have you met my proctologist, Dr. Seymour Butts? How is that one? You're not fun. But a couple of clowns who are up to no good. Oh my god, he was trying to... He did a clown parody of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Your name? Lawrence Curls, professional funny man, also known as Mo the Clown. You witnessed the scene at around 10:15 p.m. the day of the murder, correct? Yes it is. Very well, Mr. Curls. Will you please testify to what you saw that evening? A rabbi, a priest, and a Rastafarian walked into this without the humor, please. Okay. Aw, poor Mo can't be his normal stoogey self in court. I know. I'm not the greatest comedian in the world. I haven't been able to make people laugh for 10 years. No matter what I say, all I get in return is a vacant stare and polite applause. Since no one ever laughs at my jokes, I've taken to laughing at them myself. It's a bad habit, but hey, at least I'm trying. Imagine my predicament. I'm a clown who can't make people laugh. I'm almost useless. But I keep trying. I even tried to come up with jokes just for today. This atmosphere is very nerve-wracking. I decided to try making everyone laugh. Seriously, everyone, what do you think of me? How am I doing? Bro, that's not it. Aren't we the ones supposed to be asking the questions here? Witness? Huh? We will listen to your call for help after the court proceedings are over. Thus, please stick to the facts of this case. Really? You'll heal me out? Well, I'll make sure that one of my staff will be your straight man later. Thank you, I can't wait. Poor Gumshoe. Now that that's settled, shall we begin once again with the testimony? Of course we can! I'll talk for as long as you want! The night of the murder, after practice was over, I went straight back to my room. You have no idea how tired I was that night. I was pooped. I thought I'd go straight to sleep, but before I did, I glanced out the window. That's when I saw two silhouettes. They were a bit far away, though. It was the ringmaster, and he was with Max, who was wearing his cloak. I kept watching them, and all of a sudden, Max clonked the ringmaster over the head. That's very interesting. If this eyewitness account is to be believed, I have enough to pass judgment right now. Of course you can. There's no way that this accountant can be criticized. However, the witness is a bit, how do you say, off-kilter? Almost like he has some sort of atmosphere of guilt surrounding him. Ah! That must be because of my insincere smile. Mr. Wright, please begin this defensive cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. Nick, you've got to find some kind of contradiction in his testimony. I know that. Mr. Wright, Your Honor, I'm afraid that if you push this one too far, it would bring disaster upon the court. Thus, I sincerely hope you are not going to engage in pointless saber rattling. I understand, Your Honor. If you cause this clown to stray from facts, I'll hold you responsible. Why am I responsible? I'm not the one with the corny jokes. Just happened to glance out of the window? You could say that. You could also say I peeked, stared, glimpsed, peeped, eyeballed. Mr. Curls. Oh, I guess synonyms aren't allowed either. What should I do? I wonder if I should press him further on this issue. Exactly why did you look out of your window that night? Why? Why? Clowns don't need a reason to look out their windows, do they? That's not what I meant. I meant that, well, when we spoke yesterday, once I had tucked myself into bed, I heard this amazing noise. It was incredibly loud. It sounded like a giant thump. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. You forgot? Your Honor, the witness looked out of his window upon hearing a loud sound. He did not just simply glance out of his window that night. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot to mention that thump, didn't I? Ow! That's not something you just forget to mention! Yeah, what she said. I believe it would be best if Mo were to revise his testimony. Very well. Mr. Curls, please revise your testimony. This should start turning the tables in our favor. I heard a huge noise outside the window, and that's what made me look outside. You say you saw the ringmaster get clonked over the head? Yes, I did. It's the climax of my story. He really does enjoy the completely random non-sequitur. What would you say the victim was struck with? You mean the weapon? I have no idea. The weapon wasn't found at the murder scene, right? That's not what I meant. You did say you did see everything, didn't you? Well, yeah, I suppose I did. Wait, no I didn't. I didn't see a weapon. Mo, did you or did you not see the crime of murder committed that night? I will not permit you to harass my witness in this manner. You better have an excellent reason for attacking this poor clown, because if you don't, you know what is waiting for you. A nice penalty. Isn't this a bit melodramatic? So what will it be then, Mr. Phoenix, right? Do you have any clear basis to believe that my witness did not see the crime? Of course I do! I've got a great reason to make my claim. And I suppose you will be telling us all that great reason. Of course I will. The reason is the witness's very own testimony. What's the meaning of that, Mr. Wright? Mo said that he heard a sound like a thump of someone getting hit. He did say that. However, Mo just stated the following under oath. I kept watching them, and all of a sudden, Max clonked the ringmaster over the head. If Mo is to be believed when he says he looked out the window upon hearing a sound, there's no way that he could have seen Max clonk anyone. In 1972, crack clap. What? Mr. Curls, how do you respond to Mr. Wright's assessment? They didn't commit. These clowns promptly escaped from a maximum security clown. Mr. Curls, are you reciting the C-Team theme to anger this court? No, I'm just stalling for time while I jog my memory. Great job, Nick. These types of witnesses always seem to have selective memory. You just have to peel back the layers of the clown makeup to find the truth. Well, you're back from your jog. Well, it pretty much happened the way I said. Pretty much. When I looked out my window that night, the ringmaster was already face down in the snow. The prosecution helped me fill in the gaps of my statement. Von Karma! Tampering with witnesses again? So now you are saying that you did not see the defendant clonk the ringmaster? Yes. When I looked out my window, the ringmaster had already checked out. Checked out? Yep. He was on permanent vacation, as they say. Mr. Curls, Your Honor, you did not witness the actual crime. However, you still say you saw the criminal, correct? Yes, exactly! The ringmaster was slumped over and I saw some silhouette next to him. Very well, then please testify to this silhouette you saw. I expect the truth. And if I even catch a hint of a joke from you, I'll put you in a holding cell until you learn court etiquette. Got it? Got it. It was a bit far away, but that shadow could only have belonged to Max. There's no doubting it, especially since I saw his uppity symbols. His silk out, that black cloak, they were all there. His face was silhouetted, but there was no doubt that it was him. His cloak was fluttering in the wind, so I couldn't really see what he was carrying. It does seem as if the defendant was at the scene of the crime. It took the clown long enough to get his facts straight. But whatever, this should finally be good enough, yes? It is decisive testimony. Was Max really at the crime scene that night? He said he wasn't there. We have to believe in that. Alright, Mr. Wright. Commence your cross-examination. Well, this one's pretty easy.
Objection!
You say you saw all of Max's uppity symbols? I suppose so. The silk hat and the cloak, right? Mo! Everyone knows that Maximilian Galactica has 3 uppity symbols. 3 symbols? Yay, everyone get ready. All together now. Silk hat, cloak, white roses! What the? Who cares if he knew that there were 3 or not? He saw what he saw. He saw the symbols. He just forgot to mention one. Isn't that right, Mo? Do you like pie? I love pie. 3, 5, 1, 5, I don't know. Silence, fool! You are to respond with the whole truth. No fractions! Order! Order! Mo, you didn't see the roses, did you? To be honest, there weren't any roses on the person I saw. The crime scene was dark. It's obvious it was too dark to see that kind of detail. But the witness said he was able to see the silhouette of the criminal's face. Not to mention that the roses are white. There's no way he could have missed them. then the roses must have fallen off where the defendant assaulted the victim. If that was the case, then the police would have found them near the crime scene. Mr. Wright, aren't these white roses truly material to fact that's the case? Clearly not. He is just toying with this court. I got her on the ropes now. These seemingly insignificant facts have never failed to lead me to the truth yet. Someone is toying with the court, but it's not me. Your Honor, do you recall Trilogy's testimony? There's no way I could mistake someone wearing those 3 ridiculous symbols. How can you mistake someone with that crazy getup and his nose stuck up so high? How can you mistake someone wearing such a snobby 3-piece getup? Trilogy saw them all. Trilogy saw all 3 of Max's symbols. However, this witness claims there were no white roses on the person he saw. There's absolutely no doubt that this is a contradiction. Now what am I supposed to think? One is supposed to disregard pointless this. Judge, forget the roses. Think about his other testimony. The witness has stated without a doubt that he saw Maximilian Galactica. Nothing else matters. Let's wrap this case up now. Your Honor, it may be trivial, but it does cast doubt on the prosecution's case. Frankly, I have my doubts about this witness. It seems that, unlike wine, the witness has not grown more mature with age. I'm not mature? I've come to a conclusion. I'm 99% certain that this witness saw the defendant. However, my remaining 1% of doubt is quite reasonable, which means that for my peace of mind, I'm going to request a bit more testimony. What? If there are no contradictions in this next statement, I am prepared to issue a ruling. A ruling? Nick, this is your last chance. The Silhouette, Part 2. There's no doubt in my mind. There were no white roses that night. However, all of the other symbols were there. I am equally sure of that. Especially the silk hat. There is no way I can forget seeing the decorations on it. He was wearing it the entire time that he was on the scene. Mr. Wright, you've got one last chance at this. Just one chance? I would not allow even the slightest hint of badgering against this witness. If you are going to prove to me that there's a contradiction with Mr. Curls' statement, you better have at least a shred of evidence to back up your accusations. I've only got a single shot at this. I've got to be careful. I understand, Your Honor. One chance is all I will need. This wouldn't happen to be the silk hat that you saw that night, would it? Yep, that's it. That's the hat he was wearing that night. No question in your mind? Exactly how would one mistake a thing like that? I see. Is there some sort of problem, Mr. Wright? It's Von Karma. Where exactly was this stick out found? Must you always ask these questions? It was found at the crime scene. The crime scene? That means the silk hat fell off at the crime scene. However, the witness clearly testifies to the contrary. The witness stated that he was wearing it the entire time that he was on the scene. No! That's not true! Order! 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 Mr. Curls! Yes, Your Honor. What is the meaning of all this? You're old enough to know better than to behave like this in court. Hey, that's just not right. That's so harsh. What's not right here is your eyesight and your memory, amongst other things. Why are you being so mean to me? What did I do? Let me guess. You just didn't like my jokes or something, right? You didn't have to go and insult my eyesight or my memory. They're both great. Seriously, why? Just because you were sitting above me doesn't mean... No. You made a clown cry. And of these childish outbursts, Mr. Curls, who do you think you are? I saw him. I swear I saw him. It was Max. Even if he didn't have his roses, he was still wearing his dumb silk hat. I'm telling the truth. He turned into a bratty little kid. It's pitiful, isn't it? He left the scene wearing that dumb silk hat. He was there. He left the scene? What's the matter, Nick? There's something I've been mulling over for a while now. Mo? What do you want? You just said that he left the scene. Exactly how did the murderer leave the scene of the crime? What? He went... What do you mean, how did he leave the scene? You can't ask me that. Mr. Phoenix Wright is badgering the witness, Your Honor. This witness's testimony is so full of holes, Miss Von Karma's protest is useless. You've got a point. let's hear what the witness has to say on this matter. Is that alright with you, little guy? Don't talk to me like I'm a little baby. Besides, what kind of stupid question is how did he leave the crime scene? The answer is obvious. He just turned around and walked away. That's what I expected you to say. You sure that's how it happened? Say what? Huh? I'm not sure I know exactly where you're going with this. Lawyers nowadays sure do love to harp on the smallest things. Do you have any proof to counter a story as to how the criminal left the scene?
Take that!
Look at this picture. The problem is the footprints in the snow. What? In this photo, we can clearly see the footprints of the victim. However, where are the criminal's footprints? They aren't there! Ay, ay, ay! So, Mo, exactly how did the criminal escape the scene? Your Honor, this witness has already proven that his testimony is completely unreliable. I move to strike all of this witness's testimony from the court record. I agree. This clown's testimony is rickety as the clown car he came to court in. Wait just a second! You guys just can't just ignore everything I've said. Fine, I'll tell you the truth this time. You wait a second. I think you said more than enough for today. That didn't hurt. I'm sick and tired of listening to you anyway. I'll give you the real deal this time, I swear. I don't know why, but I get the feeling things are going to get worse before they get better. Mr. Lawrence Pearls. Yes? The testimony you've provided up until now has been false. It hasn't been false. I haven't lied. It's just what? It's just I was a bit confused on the bit about the criminal leaving the scene. Especially since Flawed Carmen, our whip, told me not to talk about what I really saw. Order! Order! I will have order! Francisca von Karma, how could you? Your Honor, if you had heard the truth of this witness, you would have exactly the same opinion as I have. What opinion is that? It's not funny. That's enough out of you. I'm going to listen to what he has to say. Now then, let's hear the truth about what you saw, Mr. Curls. Ha! You're not going to believe this, but it's all true, I tell you. Try not to waste our time with your idiotic drivel. Now it's time for our next segment. Mo knows. Everything I've said until now has been the truth. When I looked out the window, the ringmaster was down and Max was standing above him. He wasn't wearing his white roses, but he was wearing the silk hat. That's what I saw. This is the truth now. Get ready for it. He flew. He jumped up and flew through the air. He flew right off and disappeared into the darkness. That's why there were no footprints. Flying people don't leave footprints. I told you it wasn't funny. Do you believe me now? Well, that was, how do you put this into words? Maximilian Galactica is a world-class magician, but to leave the scene of a crime by flying, there's no way that actually happened. You're right. Why is he right? You believe the other witnesses. Why won't you believe me? Especially since it's the best part of the story. To be honest, this is the first time I've heard of a flying criminal. What do you think about this witness's testimony, Mr. Wright? This is all a dream, right? Right now, I can't believe any of this. I'm not even sure if this day hasn't been some kind of Kafkaesque dream. Ow! Now do you think it's still a dream, huh, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Suppose I will let you all in on my thinking regarding this matter. The criminal disappeared into the sky. I'd love to believe that. I just can't wrap my head around how that could actually happen. You imbecile! If you disregard a need for proof, this Karma's case is sound. However, I've got the feeling that this case is in a dire need of more investigation. Thus, I will conclude today's proceedings at this point. It's an undisputed fact that the criminal left no footprints at the scene. Tomorrow, I want us to find out the reason behind this mystery of mysteries. I believe that's enough for today. Court is adjourned! December 29th, 2:33 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 5. Hey, sweeties, what in the world is going on? That's what I want to know. They say the criminal flew off into the air and disappeared. Max, I can't believe I'm asking this, but you didn't fly that night, did you? I know you didn't mean to ask me such a fabulously stupid question. I can't fly whenever I please. It's not that easy. But it looks so effortless for you on stage. It's not that simple. I'm not actually flying on stage. I use invisible wires and have them hoist me through the air. Wow, you just told me the secret to your magic. No, I broke the first rule, the cardinal rule, the only rule. I'm sorry, Max. We made you break a magician's creed to never reveal the secret to their tricks. Nick, what do we do now? All we can do now is hope we find the flying criminal in court tomorrow. Great idea. Let's do our best to catch this sucker. And with that, I think I shall end the live stream for today. So, in tomorrow's episode, we will be starting the investigation for part 3 of episode 3, Turnabout Big Top. So, thank you all for watching, and as always, it's your host, TheAmariaShadow, saying, and I'll see you for the next adventure. Goodbye, everyone!